I'm Faith Mescal.
And I'm Katia Romero. Welcome to Strategy, your source for authentic, curated content for digital and social media professionals.
On today's show, we'll be taking a look at pros and cons of influencer marketing and advertising.
In our tips and tools segment, we'll learn how to find influencers we can work with in our own professional careers.
First, to our question of the day. Are people more likely to trust advertisements from influencers rather than a traditional advertisement?
The influencer industry has grown a lot. Let's find out.
Hello, my name is Faith Mescal, and today I will be interviewing people at the Crossroads at BOUI about media and influencers and their advertising.
I'm Jaden Massey.
Hi, Jaden. Have you ever bought something because an influencer recommended it?
No, but I'll look at reviews that influencers post about certain products. So I'm looking to buy something, I'll go online and see if they've done a review on it. But I don't really see a sponsored section by someone and then go and buy the product.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, can you say your name?
Hallie Frost.
Have you ever bought something because an influencer recommended it?
I have, yeah. I bought mostly clothes, but...
Hi, I am Jaden Fisher.
Nice to meet you, Jaden. Have you ever bought something because an influencer recommended it?
Yes, I have. There's this infinity hoop thing that you tie around your waist and it you just hula hoop. And I bought one and it didn't really work very well. But that's okay. Maybe it was my bad. Maybe I didn't do well. I don't know, but yeah.
Do you trust influencers when they promote a product or service?
For sponsorships, sort of, because they can decline or accept, but it really just depends.
Do you trust influencers when they promote products?
I think some influencers can be trusted. I don't really know if I fully agree with everything that they promote because I feel they're promoting it, so they're supposed to be this is amazing, you need to buy it,
Yeah.
So sometimes that can be kind of hard to trust.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you think influencers are honest about what they promote?
I think it depends. I think it depends on what it is. And I have a few people that I know that are more micro influencers, and I think it just goes for morals, I would think, because I trust those people because I'm close to them, I know them. I'm gonna have conversations about it. So I just think it depends on the person.
Do you think influencers are honest about what they promote?
More so than normal advertisements, because normal advertisements, so they're just trying to sell a product, or someone that I know and that I've been watching for years accepts a sponsorship and they do a product. I might look into it more than just a random advertisement I see.
Would you trust a influencer more than a traditional advertisement?
I don't. I guess so. I feel I honestly would probably trust an advertisement more than an influencer. That's just my hot take, though. I just feel advertisements, right? Everyone, a lot of people are buying them. And for influencers, right, their followers or the people that are watching them will buy it. But,
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Do you trust influencers when they promote a product more than a traditional advertisement?
I do, yeah. I feel like social media is a good way to connect with people, and I feel I'm influenced more than just seeing a commercial, because it's someone it's connecting human to human. And yeah, I don't know. I feel scrolling, I feel a lot of people kind of fall into that. It can be a good thing and a bad thing, but I think having someone that you watch over and over again on a screen advertise something and give their opinion about it, I think it's a little bit more trustworthy to me.
The world of advertising has changed a lot over time. Traditional ads aren't the only way to reach an audience anymore. Influencers, whether they're on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok, are shaping the way people discover products and interact with content. Understanding which influencers or brands to work with and where consumers spend their time online is just as important as the content the person is putting their time and effort into.
Couldn't agree more with you, Faith. People nowadays want something more familiar to be able to relate to, and it can be hard to find that in a traditional ad.
Today we're talking about influencer marketing, one of the most powerful tools in digital space, but not without its flaws. Let's break down the good and the bad. Let's start with the positives. According to QuickFrame, influencer campaigns deliver a strong ROI. Businesses are earning an average of $5.78 for every $1 spent. That's huge. Why? Because influencers feel real. According to Sprout Social, authenticity drives engagement. When a creator shares something they actually use, people will listen. It's not just about reach, it's about trust. And micro influencers especially do well because of how personal their content feels. Now let's talk drawbacks. One big issue is fake followers. According to Influence City, many influencers inflate their numbers with bots, which wastes marketing dollars. And then there's the problem of transparency. A study from Hello Partner found that 97% of influencers post commercial content, but only 20% properly disclose that they're being paid to do it. That lack of honesty can really damage trust, both for the creator and the brand. So, what's the key takeaway? Influencer marketing works if it's authentic, if it's honest, and if it's done right. For Strazine, I'm Nathan.
Now that we know a bit more about the demographics of the most popular social media platforms, let's take a deeper dive into how we can use this information to work for us in content marketing. Now that we've heard more about the impact of influencers on students' buying habits, let's learn about an expert in the industry about the good and bad of influencer marketing.
Yeah, and actually, recently I spoke with Sister Nelson, who has been previously interviewed here in Stratazine. She's a professor here in the communications department, and she has studied previously public relations. So she's the one that's like the expert in this scenario, truly. So throughout the years, she's been able to grow her career, and we thought might as well she's the one to interview for this occasion. And hello, and welcome back to another episode of an interview with Sister Nelson. She's a pretty common guest in our show, as you can see. How's it going?
I'm very good, Katya. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for saving the time to meet as well.
Absolutely.
Today, we're going to be talking about influencer marketing. Yeah. And what are her thoughts on it and all of that stuff. But we're going to start with a couple questions.
Okay.
And the first one is, what are the key factors to consider when selecting an influencer to ensure they align well with the brand identity and target audience? This can be any brand, but what are your thoughts on that question?
Yeah, I loved this question, actually. I love that you're starting here, right? So first we have to identify the key factors of what an influencer, right? What do they bring to the table and how do they align with what your brand is looking for? So you mentioned this in your question, right? You talk target audience, but we have to understand the psychographics and demographics of our target audience and what are their likes and dislikes and how does that align with our brand so that we're not only bringing in people that are kind of like our current target audience, but then we're expanding our target audience because we're bringing in a new audience and we're bringing in this influencer audience. So do their interests and values align with that of that brand? And then what's your content style and tone? The fun part about influencer marketing is from a brand's perspective, you now get to play a little bit, right? So it doesn't have to necessarily align with your voice, but you get to go in and say, does this tone match what we do? Is this a brand that we want to align with? And so that's always kind of fun too, right? To be like, oh, we can expand now. We can have a little fun here because we might love their content and their content has to be true to them. And then authenticity and values. We hear this word often when we talk social media, right? Are they authentic to what they're bringing? Are their values in alignment? But what is their history of authentic? And when I say authentic, I mean authentic engagement with their community, right? Does their community come in and want to talk about it? Does their community authentically engage, meaning are they coming in and naturally commenting on that product's post, on that ad that they're posting? And that's where that kind of comes into. So those are my key factors of what I would look at.
100%.
Yeah.
I should have taken notes, man. That's like really good.
I think this is recorded.
Yeah, good thing this is recorded. I'm definitely gonna take notes later.
Oh, you're awesome.
But yeah, no, 100%. It's really good to look out for those things because otherwise, why are you hiring that influencer in the first place, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna go on with their second question, and
Okay.
that is, how can businesses measure the effectiveness of an influencer marketing campaign beyond just likes and shares? That's something I've actually really wondered. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love that you put that in there, that you added beyond just likes and shares, because I think often, right, we look at those metrics and we say, oh, okay, that's a big number of likes, but is the like converting? So the first thing you want to look at is your conversion rate or sales that come directly from that post that you're doing. So, and we see this often, right? And so you have to have a conversion rate. What is, does that post convert into sales ultimately, right? So is there a link? Is it easy to get to it? And are people converting? Have they worked through that funnel? And then that's the main thing. Trackable links, promo codes, and then just that UTM parameter and going into that. So that's kind of the very first thing I would look at is that conversion rate.
What strategies can be employed to maintain authenticity and influencer partnership, ensuring that promotions resonate genuinely with the audience? I feel like this question kind of goes along with what you just we just answered. So how would you answer this?
Yes. So number one, let your influencers be creative, right? Sometimes as a brand, we come in and we want to be like, this is what we want to see. We want this many stories. We want this long of reel. So going back to what we talked about previously, yes, you need a little of that, right? Because you have to write a contract. However, if your influencer comes in and says, hey, my brand, my partnerships, my audience likes this style of reel or likes this many story posts, as a brand, I will look at you and thank you for being honest with me. And let's adjust your contract. Let's adjust that. And let's adjust your media kit so we can put something together that aligns really well with what you do authentically on your account. A couple years ago, we saw influencers post about a different brand every single day.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, and that feels like, I don't know, generic. It feels robotic almost. Like
Feels robotic, right? And it starts to be like, gosh, you are so pushy. You just keep pushing these same ads to me. And guess what most people do?
just skip that.
They skip it or they unfollow, right? Because you're like,
Yeah.
oh, wait, this doesn't feel like my best friend talking to me anymore. It feels like, oh, you're just trying to sell me. There we go.
But today we're focusing actually on a particular influencer. It's one of my favorites. That's why I chose him. I'm not trying to be biased, but he's pretty awesome. He cooks for his family. He came from like some very humble beginnings. He couldn't find a job. His wife got pregnant, and then all of a sudden, social media came to be sort of income for him. And we're going to talk about this particular partnership he did with Ninja Kitchen. He cooks for his family, and so it's really cute to see. We're going to see it on our screen super quick. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but I mean, just to give ourselves an idea, he decors like his kitchen super nice, and like he basically makes a menu, for his family, and basically turns his kitchen into the whole like shop, right? Ice cream shop. It's the best. What aspects of their partnership exemplify successful influence?
So even when you watch this video, and I believe you're going to show this video. So when you watch it, it doesn't feel like an ad to him. He also tells a story with this, right? He's not standing there going, hello, here's this brand new thing, right? It's going, no, I'm in my kitchen with my family and I'm setting it up like you said, right? It's a cute little ice cream shop parlor in his kitchen, and that just feels very natural to him.
Our next and last question. Thank you so much for meeting with us today.
Yeah.
How did the POV husband's approach to showcasing the ninja swirl contribute to building trust and engagement with their audience? I think this also goes along with like what you just said.
It does. But to wrap it up, why is this approach contributing to building trust and engagement? I like that you used both those words. Why do people follow POV husband, right? He tells a story in his pin post right at the top of his account of how he got started. And so we understand that this account brings in, right, his relatability. It brings in his approachability. It's also incredibly consistent. That's what we truly like.
Yeah, no, his videos are pretty similar, but they're still pretty unique, within each video, because he's cooking something different each time, but same kitchen, same family. Yeah. But I think that's what gives him authenticity.
Right? We just want them to show up when we want them to show up and tell us the things that we want them to talk about, because that's what makes us love them. So
yeah. Influencer marketing, guys. But it was a pleasure to be today with Sister Nelson. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, Katya.
Thank you.
And
we're so lucky to have one of the kindest faculty members to speak with us. Moving on, we'll have Jeremy Lavenger this week on Tips and Tools segment that is Hype Auditor, a website that helps influencers find people to do brand deals or collaborations with.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Strategy Podcast Tips and Tools segment. Today, we're going to talk about how you can contact influencers to work with your brand or company. Now, I'm going to use a tool called Hype Auditor. This tool lets us look at lots of different influencers and find those who match what we want. Now, I'm going to look up as if I was searching for a brand or a company that was a business in the US selling clothes online. And we're looking for an influencer who does fashion and would be willing to promote our brand. So I've already set this up. I just want to tell you a few quick things. Number one is followers. We don't want to go for influencers with large followings. Number one, they're expensive. And number two, we want influencers with really good audience engagement. And usually smaller influencers are those who interact with their audience the most. Now, when I searched, I got these two that we're going to talk about for an example. Now, this is Oma. We can see a lot of things from Oma. One, she has a lot of likes. She helps us reach a lot of people, and she's not too expensive for brand deals, and she has really good audience engagement. But she is from Nigeria and might not be the best fit for a US brand. Whereas someone like Kim in the United States with good audience engagement and a pretty good following, like a really good following actually, would help our brand to grow. So we might want to look for more people like him rather than people like Oma. But there's a lot of things to check, but this is a really useful tool and definitely helps anyone involved in social media or marketing. So thank you. Hope you all have a good day.
Are people more likely to trust advertisements from influencers rather than a traditional advertisement?
The answer is yes. A study done by International Journal of Innovative Research of Science, Engineering, and Technology proves that people who engage with social media regularly are more likely to buy products from influencers' advertisings than from traditional advertisements. But more people in total said that they would be more influenced by traditional advertising. So, either or. Thank you for joining us today in Strategy.